Welcome to Recast and Rise, the podcast for performers and creatives ready to explore what's next. You'll hear inspiring stories of artists who reinvented themselves and found new careers after the stage. Let's recast and rise. Welcome back to the podcast. And if you're new, hi, I'm so happy you're here. I'm Eve. I used to be a performer, and since then, I reinvented my career. Now, I share stories and tools to help creative explore what's next. This is a space where we talk about career change, creative reinvention, and how to think clearly about your next chapter. Today is a solo episode. I don't have guests, and we are talking about something I hear a lot in conversations with artists. Are you ready? Career myths. And sometimes these ideas can quietly slow us down when we're thinking about change. So today, I want to walk you through 7 common myths about career change, especially for performers, creatives, and artists. All right, are you ready? Let's go. Myth number 1, if I change career, I am starting from zero. This belief is very common with artists and creatives, but it's not really true. What you are doing is you are building a career. You are transitioning. You are not starting from zero. You do have a background. Are you a beginner? Yes, but you have so much more. You bring the skills with you, the discipline, the teamwork, the communication, problem solving, and you adapt so quickly. When something goes wrong on the stage, you react really quickly. Those are skills that you can bring with you into your next career. These skills work in many industries. So it's definitely a shift, but you're also not starting from zero. And again, yes, you are a beginner, but not starting from zero. I had Sasha and Tanner on the podcast, and they both shared how they are now doing something completely different. Sasha is a doctor in physical therapy. Sorry, Sasha, if I missed the title here. And then Tanner is a software engineer. He was a dancer and she was an acrobat for Cirque du Soleil soloist aerialist. And they both shared that they had to learn something completely different. They both agreed that they are not starting from zero, from scratch, but they were willing to be a beginner again. And they realized that that was something that they needed to face in order to succeed in their next career. And I thought that was such great insights. And essentially, yes, you are a beginner, but you are not starting from zero. You have so many skills to bring to the table. Myth number 2, my resume won't make sense outside of the arts. This belief keeps so many people stuck. And, we hear my experience won't translate or no one will understand my background. But this is where transferable skills matter. I think about my podcast conversation I had with Chantal. She was a Cirque du Soleil performer who moved into a very corporate world. She loves it, but it's definitely a new role for her, very corporate. And years later, she asked her boss, why did you hire me? Knowing I didn't have the background needed to succeed in the role on paper, obviously, right? So she asked her, why did you hire me? And her boss said, because of your skills, because of you were a performer. I mean, that says a lot. Your resume is not just a list of jobs, of titles. It's literally a story about who you were as an artist. And really the key is learning how to tell your story in a different language that different industries will understand. It's same skills, but just a different world. And Chantal's story really made such a difference because your resume, you will have to adapt it, yes. But she demonstrated that outside of the performing world, who we are is so unique. We do this all day. It's who we are. We don't see this as very special, but those skills are really important. And a lot of people are actually hiring for those skills because we are very unique. Like I said, we adapt quickly. We're very disciplined. We show up on time. And those are, for us, we take those skills for granted, but they're not. Myth number 3, career change happen in one big leap. This is a very common belief. And one day you perform and the next day I'll find another career. And most transitions don't work like that. Many people I interview on the podcast started while performing. They explored options. They took courses. They talked to people. They tested ideas. They didn't wait until the last show to say, okay, what am I going to do now? starting early really creates more options. And as an example, I had Ashley on the podcast, and she said that she started to look into what else she could be doing and while performing. And she is now as an interior designer, and she loves this. And all that to say, she did start to look into that while she was performing. And yes, of course, it's not easy because you're going to school or taking that course or just learning or starting that business or any of the things that you do during the day prior to the show. But then once you do this, then you're so happy. You're so happy that you did it, because once you take that last bow, you have something that you love after. So myth number 3, career change happen in one big leap. It can happen, but not always. Myth number 4, career change will kill my creativity. Ooh, yes, that is also a big one. They're all big ones. But ask yourself, well, what if I lose that part of myself, that creativity? And I think of my conversation I had with Erica Dooley. She had such unique career path. I mean, she had many roles, and like director of operations. She was an artistic director, company manager, assistant company manager. Very structured professional environment, right? But she made a point that she wanted to stay connected to the art, and creativity was really important for her. So she wanted to make sure that whatever job she would do, she would stay connected to the arts. She wanted to find something that she was open to work in the corporate world, obviously, but very much connected to the arts. Even Emily, we were dancing in the Love Show together, and she said, even though my role is not as creative, I work with incredible creative minds. I mean, she works with a marketing team, and these people are literally, their role is to create and design. And yeah, Emily was saying that she stays connected to the creative side of herself because of what she does, but also because she is surrounded by creative people. So it's you to decide if this is something that you are worried about, that you are not connected to your creativity. There are ways that you can create your next path, your next career based on the arts, or at least pick something that brings you joy while stay connected to your creativity. You just have to build it, to find it, and something that match your needs. That is definitely a myth. Myth number 5, I should wait until life is calmer. Yep, I'll do this later. I'm too busy now. But life rarely slows down, right? And there will always be projects, there'll be deadlines, there'll be family, there'll be logistics, there'll be something that will come up. Telling ourselves that, oh, well, I'll do this later, I'll look into what I like later. Just find 10, 30 minutes every day, every other day to start a conversation and ask yourself, okay, what am I good at? What do people say about me? What are my non-negotiables? Where do I see myself? And really start there. That's a good start. And then have conversation with others. Maybe it's just updating your resume. Maybe it's to start looking at other job that you potentially would like. Is that really something that you would like? Start to look at, just carve some time, few minutes daily. But life will rarely slow down. So you should not wait until life slows down a bit. Just find the time now. Doesn't mean you quit performing. That is not the conversation at all. It's just to start looking at other things that would make you happy and to slowly plant the seed. Myth number 6, I am just an artist. I'm just a performer. I'm just a creative. They are not going to hire me. That's not who I am. So there's 2 things to this one. First of all, you are not just an artist or just a performer. You have so much more to give, and your skills are transferable, and and we just talked about that, a lot of people will hire people based on who we are. So you are not just a performer or just an artist, trust me. There's a whole world out there. But there's also the other side of that is also for many performers, being an artist is not just a job. It's really an identity. For, when you perform for many years and your work become really who you are. So people ask, what do you do? Who you are? It's like, oh, I'm a dancer, I'm this. So, and when you stop performing, it can be very, very difficult. And I had that conversation with Miguel, and I love sharing that story because he was such a successful performer. I mean, he was at the peak, of his career, and extraordinary dancer. And when he had to, take the last bow and kind of close that chapter, it was very difficult for him because he was a dancer and he didn't know who he was or what he even liked outside of performing. So when you have that sentiment of, I am just an artist, I am just a dancer, there's so much more than that. And now Miguel is so happy. He started his own business. He works with dogs and all that because he found another passion. And it's something else that really brings him joy. He feels challenged, he feels fulfilled. And that is really something that I really hope that if you are an artist, a performer, that speaks to you. You are so much more than that. And yes, of course, you are a performer and you are an artist, but you are not just that. You have so much more to offer. Myth number 7, I should be able to figure this out alone. Many high achievers believe this. And think about it. Like if you are an athlete, you'll get coaches. Yeah, you need help for fitness, for business, as a performer, and getting help is what we've been doing our entire life, right? But there's also getting help in different ways. As an example, I had Dasha on the podcast, and for her, she did a few interviews, and she said that, not me, but she said she had a really hard time, and interviewing is so difficult. I mean, it is really challenging, and not many people really enjoy that process. And she said that after interviews, she asked the person, after knowing she didn't get the role or the job, she did ask, why didn't get the job? What could have I done better? Why not me? Why you pick someone else? So she asked for feedback. She called friends. Hey, what would you recommend I do? This is maybe a job that I'm thinking. What do you recommend? She asked people to look at her resume. Hey, I'm thinking to apply for this role. What would you recommend? So she was not afraid to be vulnerable and to ask for feedback. So myth number 7, that you can do this alone. Yes, you can, but also it will make the process so much easier if you ask for help, friends, go network, hire someone, a career coach or have conversation with other people that even if you don't know them, ask them to have a coffee chat. So ask for help. And sometimes just having like that one conversation can really save you months and years and avoid some trial and error and really, really help you in your career change. Here you have it, 7 myths around career change. If this episode gives you something to think about, I invite you to ask yourself one simple question today. What is one small step I can take next? Add it in the comment below. You can also DM me. I'm here to help. I am cheering for you, and thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to Recast and Rise. If today's story made a difference, share it with a friend or a fellow artist. Also, subscribe to this podcast and write a review so more people can access the tools shared on this platform. Follow me on my socials for more tips and tricks to navigate your career change. Until next time, I will see you in the next episode.